Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of March 9, 2025. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Ogintoy, an infantry officer. Continued combat in Kursk region, the North Military Group made significant territorial gains, liberating villages and repelling Ukrainian counterattacks. The Ukrainian forces experienced considerable losses in this area over the last 24 hours, including the destruction of tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, and an Israeli-made radar station, among other equipment.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, your trusted source for the latest developments on security and defense operations involving military forces. I'm your host, and today we have an exclusive interview with Colonel AUC Ogintoy, who will provide insights into the progress of the special military operation as of March 9, 2025. Colonel Ogintoy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with the big picture. What is the latest update on the special military operation as of March 9th?
The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct their special military operation across multiple fronts, making strategic advances while maintaining pressure on Ukrainian forces. Over the past 24 hours, we have engaged enemy formations in several key regions, inflicting heavy losses on personnel and equipment, securing better tactical positions, and neutralizing military infrastructure vital to Ukrainian operations. This includes engagements in Kharkiv, Donetsk, Zaporizhia, and Kherson, as well as defensive operations in the Kursk region.
You mentioned key regions. Can you walk us through what has been happening on the ground in Kharkiv?
In the Kharkiv direction, our North Group of forces engaged two Ukrainian motorized infantry brigades near the settlements of Kozakya Lopan and Volchansk. Ukrainian forces suffered casualties, lost multiple vehicles, and had 4 artillery pieces destroyed. Additionally, we eliminated a communication center that played a role in their command and control structure. Our West Group of forces made further progress by improving tactical positioning and engaging Ukrainian mechanized and airmobile brigades in multiple areas, including Monokinovka, Kupiansk, and Gorokivka. The fighting resulted in the destruction of Western-made artillery systems and electronic warfare stations, as well as an ammunition depot. Ukrainian personnel losses exceeded 250 in this area alone.
That sounds like a significant disruption for Ukrainian forces. What about developments in Donetsk?
Our southern group of forces secured more advantageous positions and engaged a wide range of Ukrainian formations, including mechanized brigades, territorial defense units, and National Guard elements. Fighting took place in settlements such as Sherbanovka, Seversk, and Konstantinovka. The operation resulted in over 250 Ukrainian casualties, the destruction of multiple artillery systems, and the elimination of supply warehouses. In the center group of forces, we pushed deeper into Ukrainian defenses, securing strategic gains across a broad front. Fighting in Ulyanovka, Krasnoarmysk, and Kedlino led to the defeat of multiple Ukrainian brigades, including Jaeger and Marine units. Ukrainian forces lost nearly 600 personnel, in addition to several Western-made armored vehicles, including U.S. and French-manufactured models.
There's been consistent mention of Western military equipment being used by Ukrainian forces. Are you seeing an increase in its deployment?
Yes, we continue to observe an increase in the use of Western-supplied military hardware, particularly armored vehicles, self-propelled artillery, and electronic warfare systems. However, our forces have been effective in neutralizing these assets. For example, in the east, we recently liberated the settlement of Constantinople and took down a Polish-made Kraft self-propelled artillery unit, among other assets.
Let's shift focus to the Dnipro front. What has been happening there?
Our Dnipro group of forces inflicted significant losses on Ukrainian mechanized and mountain assault brigades operating in the Kherson and Zaporizhia regions. Engagements in Novonikolivka, Davydiv Brod, Pyatakatki, and Pavlovka resulted in Ukrainian losses of up to 80 personnel, as well as the destruction of a U.S.-made HMMWV armored fighting vehicle, 8 additional vehicles, and 2 field artillery pieces, including a U.S.-manufactured M777 howitzer. We also eliminated 2 HIMARS multiple launch rocket systems and an Israeli-made radar station.
That's a considerable amount of high-tech weaponry taken out. Were there additional precision strikes beyond direct ground engagements?
Absolutely. Our operational tactical aviation, drone strikes, missile troops, and artillery fire targeted strategic infrastructure that supports Ukraine's military-industrial complex. These strikes damaged gas processing facilities that supply energy to Ukraine's defense industry, destroyed infrastructure at military airfields, and eliminated production workshops responsible for UAV manufacturing. Additionally, we hit command centers at areas where Ukrainian forces and foreign mercenaries were concentrated in 143 districts.
One of the major challenges in modern warfare is aerial threats. How have Russian air defenses performed in the last 24 hours?
Our air defense systems remain highly effective. In the past 24 hours alone, we successfully intercepted a JDAM-guided bomb, 2 HIMARS rockets, and an astonishing 228 unmanned aerial vehicles. What's particularly notable is that nearly 100 of these drones were neutralized outside the immediate conflict zone, showing the extended range of Ukrainian drone operations and our ability to counter them.
That's a high number of UAVs intercepted. Are Ukrainian drone operations evolving?
Yes, they are attempting to expand their use of drones to compensate for their diminishing ground forces. However, our electronic warfare systems and air defense units have been adapting accordingly, maintaining a high interception rate.
Let's turn to the Kursk region, where there have been ongoing battles. What's the latest update?
In Kursk, our North Military Group continued offensive operations, successfully liberating the village of Lebedevka and Novinkoy in the Sumy region. Ukrainian formations, including mechanized and airborne brigades, were engaged and suffered severe losses. 2 attempted counterattacks were repelled, and we inflicted over 350 Ukrainian casualties in this area alone.
Are Ukrainian forces still attempting to hold their positions in this region?
They are attempting to, but they are struggling. We have inflicted over 65,900 casualties in this direction since the beginning of our operations, and their ability to sustain defensive lines is weakening. Over the last day, they lost a tank, infantry fighting vehicles, armored personnel carriers, artillery pieces, and an Israeli-made radar system, among other key assets.
Looking ahead, what are the next steps in the operation?
According to preliminary data, the Russian armed forces advanced 82+ square kilometers of territory in 24 hours. The Ukrainian armed forces still have approximately 200 to 235 square kilometers of controlled territory, but Russian UAV operators are actively working almost everywhere. The advance into the depth of the Ukrainian armed forces' defense from the Russian side was 9 to 12 kilometers. Our focus remains on maintaining momentum, securing further tactical advantages, and continuing targeted strikes on critical infrastructure. We will ensure that Ukrainian forces are unable to mount effective counteroffensives while pressing deeper into enemy-held areas. The operation will continue until our objectives are fully met.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. It's important to keep the public informed about the progress being made. Today, tensions continue to escalate in South Sudan, where the fragile peace between President Salva Kiir and Vice President Riek Machar is increasingly at risk. Recent reports reveal that several individuals have died following an attack on a UN helicopter, which could potentially be classified as a war crime according to African officials. Additionally, the United Nations has indicated that the situation in South Sudan is deteriorating rapidly. In Sudan, the situation remains dire as well, with reports indicating that cholera has killed nearly 100 people in just 2 weeks.